Genial greetings. Today let us see A River, a poem written by A.K. Ramanujan. A River is published in The Striders, his first volume of poetry. And what is the river mentioned here in this poem? Can anyone answer? Of course, we people are here in Madurai.
Madurai, ma'am.
Madurai. Okay, what is the river?
Vaigai.
Vaigai. Ah, yes. Do you know the meaning for the term Madurai? Okay, I shall explain here. The term Madhu means honey. Rai means where honey is found, the place. Madhu, Rai. So where honey is found. Actually, there is a story. There is a commercial merchant by name Dhananjayan. He had a dream, and in his dream, he saw a few honey drops falling from the mated hair of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva உடைய ஜடமுடியில இருந்து ஒரு தேன் துளி வந்து விழுகிறத பார்க்கறாரு. Okay, and he informed this dream to Kulasekara Pandian, the king who ruled Madurai at that time. And Kulasekara Pandian also believed, and he came to the forest of Kadambavana, and there where he saw that Lord Shiva, where he saw that from the mated hair of Lord Shiva, few honey drops are found. So they dug that place, and they took the statue of Lord Shiva. That's what Somasundareshwarar, which is in Sri Meenakshi Amman temple at present. So this is the story of Madurai, history of Madurai, name. Okay, let us get into this poem, Madurai. In this poem, the poet has talked about two devastation, of course, of Vaigai River. One is drought, na pancham. Another one is flood. Okay, I shall read the poem. In Madurai, city of temples and poets, who sang of cities and temples, every summer a river dries to a trickle in the sand, bearing the sand ribs, straw and women's hair, clogging the water gates at the rusty bars. Under the bridges, with the patches of repair all over them, the wet stones glistening like sleepy crocodiles, the dry ones, shaven water buffaloes, lounging in the sun, the poets only sang of the floods. Look at the first stanza, which runs long, but it is very simple. In Madurai, so first the poet has talked about the city of Madurai. Madurai is a city of temple. Madurai is also called a sleepless city, Thunga Nagaram. Then many poets lived here in Madurai. Poets in the sense Sangam poets who wrote poetry in Tamil. All those Sangam poets, they glorified Madurai city. They glorified the city and temple, Meenakshi Amman temple and all the other temples. Then Vaigai River. Every summer, a river dries to a trickle in the sand. The Vaigai River is not filled with water always, so it dries to a trickle in the sand. There won't be any water at a period. For a long period of time, there won't be water at all. So it dries, bearing the sand ribs. See, the poet is watching this drought scene. He is watching, standing at the bank of the river, Vaigai River, and he is watching the sea. So he sees as if the whole river lying like that of an impoverished man. Impoverished man, a poor man. அப்படியே ரொம்ப ஏழை, அவன் எலும்பெல்லாம் ரிப்ஸ் அதெல்லாம் அப்படியே தெரியுது. அந்த அளவுக்கு lean, he is very lean. His ribs are seen. Okay, Like that, he compares this Vaigai river to an impoverished man. Okay, so that impoverished condition of this Vaigai river is beautifully explained by this poet. So, a river dries to a trickle in the sand, bearing the sand ribs. Sand ribs, na? There is no rib in the sand, but he compares to that bones, the ribs, with just surrounded with the skin, but not with a huge amount of flesh. Okay, but there is no water here in the sense. Then, straw on women's hair clogging the water gates. See, there is no water even to clear the women's hair or straw அந்த குப்பையை அந்த வைக்கோலையும் the clogging, okay, women's hair, it clogged the water gate, the rusty bars இருக்குல்ல அதுல தண்ணி போற அளவு இல்ல, there is no water, there is no rush of water, so women's hair or there, okay, waist hair and also straw, so it clogs, it blocks the way. Then if you see the bars under the bridges, okay, if you see the bars are also rusty, அப்படியே துருப்பிடிச்சு, there is no water, so it became rusty under the bridges with the patches of repair all over them. So the bridges, when he was visiting Madurai, the bridges were repair in condition. Okay, it was old, there were many patches. So he could see all those patches, repair over them. Then he sees, the poet sees wet stones glistening like sleepy crocodiles. There are wet stones, of course. It glistens like sleepy crocodile. It glistens like sleepy crocodile. தூங்கிக்கிட்டு இருக்கிற மாதிரி, that wet stones shone. Okay, it shone. The dry ones, shaven water buffaloes lounging in the sun. But the dry stones, they resemble like the buffaloes lounging. Usually buffaloes lounge in water. Buffalo, எரும மாடு என்ன பண்ணுமா, அப்படியே சொகுசா ரிவர் வாட்டர்லயோ இல்லை ட்ரைனேஜ் வாட்டர்லயோ யூ ஹவ் சீன் இன் யுவர் ஏரியாஸ். ஓகே, அப்படியே சொகுசா உட்கார்ந்துருக்கும். பட் ஹியர் தெர் இஸ் நோ வாட்டர். ஸோ திஸ் dry stone is compared to the shaven water buffaloes lounging not in the water but in the sun. And here the poet talks about the people's character also. The people are not at all sensitive to these problems. They are compared to the sleepy crocodiles. Crocodiles the buffaloes symbolize insensitiveness, insincerity. The crocodiles symbolize insincerity and the buffaloes symbolize insensitiveness. So this is what we could see. The people of Madurai, they do not show any sympathy towards all the other people who are suffering either during flood time or during the drought condition. So the people of Madurai are insincere. The people of Madurai are insensitive when they have problems, when all the other people have problems. The poet says, see, what the poet says means, all the poets, they sang about Madurai river, Madurai city, Vaigai river. They talk about all these things. They sang only of floods, but not the pitiable conditions of the people, he says, Ramanujan says. Then look at the next stanza. He was there for a day when they had the floods. People everywhere talked of the inches rising, of the precise number of cobbled steps run over by water rising on the bathing places, and the way it carried off 3 village houses, 1 pregnant woman, and a couple of cows named Gopi and Brinda as usual. See, all the poets, they sang only of the floods, but they did not talk about the conditions of the people. They did not talk about the sufferings of the people. Only this poet, he has glimpsed his view on the suffering conditions of the people during flood time. That's what we could see in the next stanza. What he says means he was there for a day. So the poet was there for a day when they had the floods. அங்க பெரிய வெள்ளம் வரப்போகுது. இந்த poet அங்க நிக்கிறாரு. So all the people, they are all discussing. The water level increases inch by inch. Now also we used to say in Vaigai Dam the water increases, like this we say. So all the people, they talked about the inches rising and of the precise number of cobbled steps. Over step அப்படி மூடி மூடி மூடுது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு run over by the water rising on the bathing places. In those days they used to take bath on the bank of the river, but now we could not see such pure water in Vaigai river. Okay, and the way it carried off. So during the flood, what happened? The flood carried away 3 village houses. It carried away 3 village houses, huts, of course, 1 pregnant woman, and a couple of cows. And those cows are named Gopi and Brinda as usual. This is the traditional name given to all the cows. Most probably they used to call Lakshmi or Gopi or Brinda, like that. So he has used these 2 names, Gopi and Brinda. See, by watching this scene, all the people, they are just merely standing without showing any sympathy or without involving in any action. அவங்கள காப்பாத்தாம அப்படியே நின்று வேடிக்கை பார்த்துட்டே இருக்கிறாங்க. That's why the poet in the first stanza, he talks about the insincerity and insensitiveness of the people of Madurai while flood occurs.